feel like someone else's. You can't walk in someone else's shoes.
All right, kids, let's take the show on the road.
All
Let's take
right.
the show on the road. Okay. Hi, welcome to Losing Weight with Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth, and tonight we're talking about obstacles and how to overcome them. Or what I like to say is, there's no problems, there's just solutions. And you know, there really are solutions to some of your problems. Not eating problems, healthy eating problems. I don't know if I can solve all of our real problems, but as far as healthy eating, I can pretty much solve most of those since I've done that. And just before I forget, since I mentioned it last week that I was going to make it, I did make that jambot, which is vegetable soup with a tomato base pretty much. And I'm telling you right now, that is one of the most delicious, easiest, least expensive things I've ever made, and could eat it every day, which will be a problem because I'll probably try to eat it every day and then not eat it again for 8 years or something. But, you know, because when I find something that I can eat a lot of, don't you just have it often?
Yeah.
You know how you went on that quinoa roll, and after a while you're going, oh yeah, I can't have any quinoa.
I can't,
Or
yeah.
you go on the kale binge, or did anybody else have anything they went on a binge and, you know, of something that-
Watermelon.
Oh yeah, well that watermelon though is still low in calories,
I
60
know,
calories a
I
cup. It's
know.
hardly an issue, but I just can't cut anymore. I'm done cutting. I'm done with watermelon. Nobody had, like me, I had tacos. That was another one. There was real low calorie tacos.
Turkey burgers.
Turkey burgers,
yeah.
veggie
Yeah.
burgers. You know, all of a sudden you start going, oh, I remember
Yeah.
when I was doing turkey bacon, thinking it was the best thing I ever had in my
No,
life.
I never
I
liked that.
can't stand that stuff.
I never liked it. I tried it once and I said, oh no.
Oh, I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. I
But-
think there's
Don't
only
like it.
one good brand, and I forget which one it is. I should take a picture of it. But I can't eat it anymore because honestly, what's it made out of? It's just poison, and I'm sure maybe some turkey, you know. So, okay, well that's what I just wanted to mention the jambot just because it was so darn delicious. Okay, what is the biggest obstacle for you in trying to stay in a healthy eating pattern? And I know for me that one of the things that makes it really difficult is I'm easily persuaded to do badly. Or what is it? I'm trying to say I'm easily
cheat?
to what?
You're persuaded to cheat?
Well, to indulge.
Indulge.
I'm easily persuaded to indulge. You know,
Me
my
too.
brother will say, "Oh, you should have a cheeseburger. You deserve it." And I go, "You're right. I do deserve it." When really what I deserve is what exactly I really wanted, which was such a healthy thing, and the cheeseburger made me sick. You'll see. After a while, certain things just make you sick because you don't eat them. So I'm easily persuaded. That's one thing. And then sometimes I don't have time to plan and prepare, and that is never good. And I have to thank goodness that Robert actually does some cooking at the house, and there's always a little something special there. Okay, so what about you? What do you think is what's the biggest obstacle for you?
Well, just for me, being put in any situation that I don't have control over what my choices are to eat.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's along the same lines as yours, then I indulge. And
I know.
not good.
You mean like at
You
a
know what?
party or something?
Huh?
Like at a
Well,
party?
like going to a country fair, for example.
What was
Yeah.
the one
You know?
thing you had at that country fair that you felt so bad about?
Apple fritters.
Oh yeah, well,
Oh,
you know,
I
listen,
love
if you're
the
going to a
apple
country fair, I can understand an apple fritter. It's the other stuff, fried butter, fried
Yeah.
Oreos, fried, you know, I mean, they even coat bacon and deep fry it. Oh my God, it sounds delicious. I mean, they'll, you know, Snickers bars, but that was the worst thing, was the apple fritters.
Yeah, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I, mean, I bet we could look that right up, and it's probably about 800 calories. Do you think?
I'm
Yeah,
not
I would
sure.
think.
And she has an iron stomach, so see, that wouldn't bother her. But what would happen to me is I would eat that apple fritter. I would never eat the whole thing anyway.
Well, it was like 9 balls about this size. They
Oh.
were deep fried and then rolled in cinnamon and sugar.
Oh yeah, I would have eaten every single one of them.
Yeah,
Don't
me
think I
too.
wouldn't have eaten every single one of them.
Drool.
Yeah, right, drool. My
Yeah.
mouth is watering right now just
I
thinking
know.
about it. But you know what would have happened? There I would have been going along, eating my apple fritters. In about a half hour, what would happen? I'd be on this big sugar high, and then about 20 minutes after that, I'd go like this. And I'd drag myself to the car because I'd be so tired. Because I don't eat a lot of sugar. When you don't eat a lot of sugar, you absolutely fine. That you'll find that will affect you that way. I mean, I know you have an iron stomach, so that's almost good. But sugar does that to almost everybody.
Yeah.
Anything particular? Anyone else?
Is an obstacle, you mean?
Yeah.
I find the weekends hardest for me.
Weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can really do it to you, especially if you have, a busy social life. Or worse, if you don't have a busy social life. Then
Exactly.
you're like going, oh, poor me, nobody wants to be with me. And then you just cook and eat. What about you? Anybody else?
Oh, yeah, I think mine is the 3 o'clock in the afternoon doldrums if I'm home. If I'm home, I eat out of boredom.
Yeah, and you know what's the other thing? At 3 o'clock, if you haven't had, do you notice on the days that we actually go to breakfast and you have an omelet, 3 o'clock isn't as bad?
Right.
Yes, because she had protein.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we always have an omelet or eggs or something like that. So that's the problem. I could solve that problem in a second by getting you to have protein at 11 or 12 o'clock. You just need that. Anything from you, Peter?
What's an obstacle?
Oh, I can't think of any
Well,
I
let me
have
come
another
up
one.
with one.
Okay.
Let me come up with one that you might actually think is an obstacle. Do you think that it's really hard for you to get to the gym? And he's so diligent at the gym. It's really unbelievable. But you just hate going to the gym, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was convincing. I know you don't like it, but you do it. He doesn't complain when he's there, and he does it faithfully. So, but I know that just getting there, once you walk in the door, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's getting there. I think that's half the
Yeah, that's the
problem.
I have
hardest of
another one.
anything.
Oh, go right ahead, sir. We have all sorts of problems.
I know, I'm sorry. I cannot leave stuff on my plate. I have to finish my plate.
Oh,
If
yes.
it's there, I eat it. And
It's
I,
old
and I
school.
can't do it. I can't push it away.
And what would be the solution to that? I know the solution to that.
Well, if I'm at home, I know the solution, but if I'm out in public, I don't know this.
Oh yeah, and then you go out in public and you're at a dinner and then
At a restaurant, okay, but if you're at somebody's house and they
Oh, and
have a
they
hard
plate
time.
your
Yeah.
food. I have a friend. God bless her for cooking for me. She makes my plate like I have just run the 24-mile marathon. I have never. The plate is so full every time. I'm like, I can't eat that. And plus, that she has all these little wonderful goodies before, which are my
yeah.
real downfall. So but if somebody plates your food, I hate to waste it. Then I feel like she will think I didn't like it, or wasn't really
Yeah.
good, or whatever it is. But it was delicious, and I could have eaten more. But now I'm actually full. So I wish people would just let you plate your own food.
Yeah.
I like to plate people's food because I like to make it look pretty, but I never put too much. And I use a small plate. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then if I use a small plate at a family gathering, everybody goes, "Why are you using a cake plate?" Oh God, stop keeping my inventory.
Right.
What?
The other thing I find hard is when I'm at a restaurant, stop eating when I'm full.
When you're full, that's what Felicia's saying. She
Yeah.
can't really leave it on the plate.
Right.
At least at a restaurant you could take it home.
Right, but I find it hard even to do that, like to say to the waitress, I want to box everything and bring it home.
Yeah.
And then I box it, and sometimes I have to end up throwing it out.
That's what happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bring, and I have good intentions, but then I kind of forget about it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I've had this for
And
a
then
few
the
days,
worst part
forget
is
it.
all of a sudden you don't even know it. Your plate's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really, really horrible. How about stress eating?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can stress eat, and you have to ask yourself, am I actually hungry? And if the answer is no, food only takes care of hunger. It doesn't take care of,
Right.
sorrow, happy, sad, anxious.
True, your problems are still there after you stuffed your face.
Your problems are
You might
still
feel
there.
great while you're eating it, but then it's like, oh, that did
Yeah,
something.
see, that's the problem. Now you say the problems are still there after
Right.
you stuffed your face. Here's the
Right.
problem with that. Now you have two problems.
Right.
That's the bigger issue.
Thank goodness it doesn't solve the problem. Can you imagine if it did solve the
Yeah, I
problem
know.
and you ate every time you were stressed?
We wouldn't be I wouldn't be sitting here. I would if that was really the deal, if it solved the problems, because that was my biggest problem, that I used food to, oh, poor Elizabeth. That's what I did all the time. I used food to make myself feel better. And if that had solved the problem, I would never have lost that 93 pounds. Never. So we have to start thinking, why? Why are we eating? And we have to be planned and prepared for when that time comes, because we're going to do it. It's a really hard habit to get out of. Really. Because sometimes, it rarely happens to me anymore. But I think I told you about this. I had a really bad day, and I went home and I said, I'm having a real tuna sandwich. No light mayonnaise, no. I have to say, that was the worst tuna sandwich I ever had in my life. I still ate it. But I put so much mayonnaise in it, I was like, no one's telling me how much mayonnaise, as if there were people telling me not to eat the mayonnaise. The only person that tells me what to eat is me.
Yeah.
And I was I was like, yeah, I'm having mayonnaise and, butter, and I'm going to have everything I want tonight. I don't care. I'm having bread and butter, and I'm having blue cheese dressing, and like I was all like mad because I was so sad and miserable. So I was gonna just eat everything in the house, and oh, did I suffer so much for it? And that food did not taste nearly as good as my food tastes when I cook healthy. Don't you notice that? When you cook a really nice dinner, what's the difference? So I understand stress. So thank God. Stress eating, but, being all the moods that can happen. No time to cook. Yeah, I don't think that's a good one. I think there is time to cook. I think people the problem is you haven't planned and prepared to cook.
Right.
It's not that the cooking takes so long. Honestly, everything I make takes under 20 minutes, except for that jambon. It took me about a half hour to get it all in the pot, and I was going, oh, I hate cooking. I really, really hate cooking. And so that was a problem that I actually had with that. But now that I've had it, I'm going to make it again.
Historically, did you always hate cooking?
No, I love to cook.
Oh.
Used to cook gigantic meals for every person, every derelict I knew. I did. I cooked for so many people you can't even begin to imagine. And did they ever appreciate it for 1 minute? So few really appreciated it. And after a while, you just say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It's a whole week of preparation.
Yeah, right.
And then it's over in 3 hours, and you're left with a big mess and the bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It costs a lot of money to feed a group of people.
Sure.
I don't want to sound bitter, but yeah, I'm a little bitter. Okay. Never mind. Never mind on that, because I don't want to stress myself out. No time to work out. Listen, 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day will actually do it. You don't have to work out to lose weight. You just absolutely do not. But your head will feel better.
Yeah,
Your body will improve immensely. Just your balance alone will become unbelievably good. But the thing is that people will say, I don't really have time. No, you're not making time for yourself. That's the thing. If you have 15 minutes to watch TV, you have
Right.
15 minutes to exercise. If you just walk in place, you won't believe what it'll do for your head. I've said it 1,000 times. It just makes you feel so much better emotionally.
Especially if you sweat.
Oh, and if you sweat, it's the joy of my life is to have just a drop of sweat fall on the mat. I honestly will get an endorphin high you will not even believe, and I'll be unbearably happy. It's true. You think I'm joking, but when my cousin Mary and I were exercising together,
I
we
was
both
there.
yeah, you were there. We both had a drop of sweat fall onto the mat. I mean, we really should have had a lot more than one drop of sweat, but when it hit the mat, we both screamed with joy like it was the greatest thing that could ever happen. So ridiculous. But that's really when you're really on top of your game. You really appreciate the effort that you're making. Now, I just thank God I can go to the gym and then I can work out so hard. I appreciate every minute that I'm allowed to be there because I know a lot of people that can't work out, and and they want to be there. So if you can work out, you should. Even if I just have to put guilt on you. You're lucky if you can work out. This was stern. Life gets in the way of your, like, say, a morning workout. You said that you push the snooze button. That 15 minutes that maybe you'll sleep longer won't give you nearly the effect that 15-minute exercise will get you. Not nearly.
That's true.
You're too hungry. Well, last week we talked about being too hungry. And what happens is you're not really actually having enough protein to make you feel full.
Right.
And we need protein, and protein is in other stuff beside meat. Spinach is 49% protein. So a spinach salad is excellent for you. And if it has hard-boiled eggs in it,
Yeah.
you're golden.
I like to put hard-boiled eggs,
Yeah.
even in regular salad. I like to put hard-boiled eggs.
Really, it's
And
really
bacon.
good.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
tuna on a spinach salad, or the other salad, that salad niçoise. Have you ever had that? It's green beans and tuna and hard-boiled eggs on mixed greens.
Oh, I never
It's
had
really
that.
quite delicious and so filling. Honestly, you cannot. Your plate can't be much bigger than this. Of course, the way I pile it is, But think a can of tuna is like 140 calories, and you would never use a whole can of tuna.
No.
A hard-boiled egg is like 70 to 100 calories, depending on the size. String beans. Come on, that's not our problem.
No calories there.
One thing that my mother used to always make, and I didn't like it as a child, and now it's one of my favorite things, is a fresh tomato salad with tomatoes and red onions
Delicious.
and a little olive
Yeah.
oil
Oh,
and,
my husband
tuna
makes
in it.
And
It's
tuna.
so
Oh,
good.
tuna.
That
Like
is
my
the best thing
favorite.
you could
Wow.
have right there. And you know what? I would think that you probably could get the tuna in the olive oil. This is really good. And then just squeeze out a little bit of the olive oil and check the calories first. It might be better. You might be better. It might make it even a more tasty thing. Look at me trying to say, yeah, use a little oil. Use the most fattening thing. Look, I turned that over. So here's one that kills me. You make one poor choice. One piece of cake. One cup of Bernays. Now, 1 cup of Bernays, probably 15,000 calories. You make one poor choice, and then what happens?
Then you throw caution to the wind. and
Right.
don't-
Yes, it's a domino effect.
Right.
You just start eating everything in sight.
Mhm.
It's not really worth it to, you made a mistake. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying.
Or it's calorie worthy.
Or it's calorie
Right.
worthy. I notice that Carol always says if it's calorie worthy. If she wasn't at goal right now, I'd be going, oh, you got to stop doing that. Yeah. But you're right. If it's calorie worthy, but also it not only has to be. So many things are not calorie worthy. That onion blossom is simply not
Ugh.
calorie worthy. It really isn't, because it's just so bad for your body in so many ways, and it's like 2,400 calories. Now I know you split it with people. Lots of times you just split it with one person. That's still 1,200 calories. And then some latte or something like that, and it's 750 calories. Didn't you say there was a donut or?
Yeah, I forgot. It was a while ago. Yeah, it was amazingly high in calories.
Amazingly high in calories.
Wow.
And boy, a donut is about 250 calories. Not the end of the world. But really, if you think about it, it's not going to fill you up. It's going to be all sugar and oil.
You
Or
actually
grease.
get angry when you buy, like I had one day I wanted a chocolate chip cookie so bad. I was like, I'll buy one chocolate chip cookie, and it was like 230 calories, which is,
it's
all right,
okay.
it's doable. And I got it, and I ate it, and I was so mad because it was not the chocolate chip cookie that I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
wasn't
it's-
what didn't meet your expectations
Yeah.
of what you remember
Right.
from.
Yeah, and before I wouldn't have cared. I was like, I'd be like, oh well, I didn't like that cookie, big deal. But now
But
I'm
you
like,
would've still
I
eaten
But now
the
you were
whole
mad
thing.
that you wasted
now,
the
but now
calories.
I
in
get
it.
mad. Yeah, now I get mad.
Did
I
you
was like,
eat the
I could
whole
have eaten
thing?
something else. Huh?
Did you eat the whole thing, even though it didn't taste
Yeah.
that great?
See what I do now, I have to say, if I take a bite of something and it's not any good, I throw it out
I will throw it out.
because it's not calorie worthy.
When those boys were not eating those cookies, and they were definitely calorie worthy. When my husband and Robert were not eating those cookies fast enough for me, I threw them out. And I tell you, it was the smartest thing I ever did, was throwing those cookies away. Of course, the next day they both were looking for the cookies. And I was like, yeah, they're gone. Sometimes, one of the things that happens to us is that we're bored.
Oh, that's a big one for me.
Food is not going to
Oh, yeah.
fill that void of boredom, is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Especially, I'm getting discouraged when I'm seeing the days getting short already.
Yeah,
It's
me
like,
too.
oh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Night
I know.
seems so long.
But here's the thing, Ann. It's projection.
yeah,
You're projecting the winter. You're projecting. See, you're not enjoying the moment
right,
That's
right,
right.
because
True.
now you're in another moment.
right.
Right.
And so, I think that's one of the problems that we have. We are a society that's not in the moment, and we really need to start
You're
thinking
right,
about
yeah.
that, because that will derail you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll say, "Oh, winter's coming. It's going to be this and that."
Should start taking yoga. That'll put you in the moment.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Boy, that
my
does
daughter,
put
my
you in the
daughter's been
moment.
doing yoga.
Oh, you'll love it.
Can't
Once
you do it
start
together?
No, she goes over her friends in Prospect. I'm not going to go there.
Oh, okay.
Where do you live, in Waterbury?
Yeah, but my daughter lives in Prospect.
So the
She
thing
goes
is
over her
that
friends.
sometimes when you're feeling down or bored, that's when and stress eating, they all go together.
Mhm.
There's no doubt about it.
Right.
And mood swings, If you open that refrigerator, if that apple, this is the one. If that apple does not look good, you are not hungry.
That's right.
You simply are not hungry, right, Peter?
Right.
Yeah. Not seeing quick enough results. Listen, if you're trying, that's all that matters, because you have to change slowly. This isn't an easy task, but don't you just want to do it this one last time?
Right.
Do you want to lose the same weight over and over and over again? You simply do not want to do that. So I say the slower the better. Almost all of my most successful people that have kept the weight off the longest have done it the slowest. Really.
And something that's helped me, and I think I messaged you this, was what my yoga instructor said, because there was a girl who had lost like 100 pounds, and she was complaining about her arms flabby and all that, and the yoga instructor looked at her and said, "You're being good to your body. You're doing what your body needs. You can't be mad at it."
Right?
Oh,
doing-
that was
You
good.
know?
Yes, because that's one of the things that we have a big problem with.
Right.
One of our biggest problems is how mean we are. She's not even looking at her success. She's looking at the shortcomings. I mean, yes, I have skin. You know, I'm not Reed thin. I'm just Dr. Happy thin. But I know full well that there's not too much I can do about the skin. I just can't do anything about it. But I am not going to berate myself. I lost that weight. I deserve a pat on the shoulders. I've kept it off 11 years. I'm not going to be mean to myself. And now a friend of mine, God bless her heart, she says to me when I'll say, oh, it's not really good. Things haven't gone really well. And she goes, that's Satan trying to steal your joy.
I like that. That's good.
Cute.
And you know, yesterday I went to the gym and there was a couple girls that were having problems that they were talking to me about, and then I had to go to a friend's place and a business, and things weren't going well there either, and a lot of problems, big problems. And I'm really happy right now because I'm going to Pennsylvania tomorrow to see a play about my life, and I can hardly wait to do this. So now I'm just so full of joy when I went to the gym yesterday, and by the time I got out of my friend's business, I was really sad. And I was going, this cannot be right. And it took me about 3 hours, and we were texting,
out
and
of
I
it.
said, oh, that's right, Satan is stealing my joy. And I immediately pulled myself together. All right, so just write down what the obstacles are and try to bring them with you if you have troubles. Because there's ways to overcome almost anything in a healthy eating plan. You know, some things you can't overcome, but this is one of the places where you can have control. So have a healthy week, and I will see you next week. Bye. I am so excited about going to the play.
I know.
I'm not.
Have a great time.
So is it the same actress that did it here in Hartford, or is it a different?
No, it's a different one.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I
too.
know. She did it for me.
Yeah.
So
You've seen her do it, though,
I've seen her
right?
do it
Yeah.
at my
That's good.
house. She paid herself.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She paid her. Yeah, she came to
Because
your
she's a real actress.
house.